applied to the territory was nothing. So,
For sure. You think Sam might have mentioned it? Yeah. I didn't get a chance to get this to him, but I'm passing it out now. Oh, it's actually, you had
access agreement?
Yeah.
Hey, they might have printed it out already, I'm not sure. Sometimes.
Is this it right here?
That looks like it. Looks like it.
Okay, I'll just mention that one change. I'll give you a new copy and take this old one. I'll make one change, I'll explain.
He should be. We're no longer
Kent's not
gonna get-
gonna be here, just need something. They did.
Just, we were using it.
Yes, we've got Jeff Anthony Gray, the guy in the middle. Those three guys. I'm not sure. So as, but they're the ones. You know what I'm saying?
Had to rearrange a meeting next week, so I can take it to school. Well, I'm still technically employed. Whether I show up, that's another issue.
Smart brought my charger.
But I still function as Tipton County's engineer, so I run up there for 3 days a week, but I also
It's just USB-C, so I can charge it with a phone charger.
Brad has been pretty good to the county so far. Oh, yeah. We've got kind of a headache right now because.
Phil here.
Here.
Justin Clevenger.
Here.
Kent Erb. Bill Fry.
Here.
Dave Richter.
Here.
All right, thank you all. We are in session. First item on the agenda is approval of executive session memoranda from tonight's executive session. Do I have a motion to approve?
I will move to approve the memorandum.
I'll second it. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of approving executive memoranda,
We're gonna
please?
do roll call.
Oh, I gotta do a roll call, that's right.
Phil Beer.
Aye.
Justin Clevenger.
Aye.
Kent Erb. Bill Fry.
Yes?
Dave Richter.
Yes.
Okay. I'm there. All right, second item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the August 13th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I will motion to approve those minutes.
Do I have a second? Everybody want a second?
Wait.
You weren't here, right?
I wasn't here,
I will
so.
second it then.
Second. I'll
Right, or Justin seconded. Any corrections, additions, or alterations to the minutes?
No.
If not, please take a roll.
Phil Beer.
Abstain.
Justin Clevenger.
Aye.
Bill Fry.
Aye?
Dave Richter.
Aye.
Okay. President's report. Got a few things just to kind of go over here. First of all, I had some conversations with Sam. Since he now has oversight over Sheridan Airport, as well as increased expenditures at TYQ, wondering if it's appropriate to increase his delegation of authority from the current $10,000 to at least $15,000. According to Sam, there's been a number of instances where maintenance or supply orders have been in the range of 11 to 12,000, where payment's been delayed to the vendor because of the timing of the board meeting. So we need to take a vote, discussing that now, or we can wait till the director's report. We'll wait till the director's report.
No, we do it now.
I do know.
Okay. All right, I move that we increase Sam's delegation of authority from his current $10,000 to $15,000.
Second.
Any discussion? No, call the roll.
Bill Beer,
Aye.
Justin Clevenger,
Aye.
Bill Fry,
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Aye.
Another item, in some discussions I've had with a few people, given that the airport board is one of the few, if not the only county board that meets evenings, would the board be in favor of looking into the possibility of having our board meetings during the day? Especially during the winter, it would make it a lot easier to have to go out of here. The sun's still up and not in the cold and rain. It would also save us some additional cost for security on those nights when we're in session and the courts are not. So, something to think about. I don't think we have to make a vote on it tonight, but just give it some thought. Let me know if you have any pros and cons either way. And we'll try to see about moving our meetings to daytime.
You want to know now or later? You want to know now or later?
Anytime you want to give it.
Okay, I'd rather not.
You'd rather not?
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be a hardship on my schedule.
Okay. All right. Although I was unable to attend the council budget review meeting in person, I did watch the recording of both the September 2nd and September 3rd sessions, the former being the actual presentation by Sam and the latter a follow-up discussion by the council. There are at least three items of concern, in my opinion, that the council had. First was the request for both part-time maintenance person to primarily assist with Sheridan and for a part-time person to assist with accounting, building, and other activities for both TYQ and Sheridan. I believe only the administrative position was included in the 2026 budget just because we didn't have Sheridan, we didn't own Sheridan until July 15th. As I understand it, mainly because the budget submissions were due in May. It was not, we hadn't finalized the Sheridan, so the maintenance position was asked for in the budget. In retrospect, it probably would have been better to include them, and then if we didn't use them, not use them, rather than go through it. It's kind of moot point now. As I understand it, the council approved the maintenance part-time position for 2025, but has not yet approved the amendment for 2026, and I believe they want Sam to return to the council in October to request an extension of the maintenance position in 2026. Given the fact that we're going to be paying $100 a day for someone to come out and test the fuel until we get our own person, it behooves us to move on that quickly. Next, the council questioned the budget submitted for Sheridan, and as I interpreted their discussion, they questioned some of the numbers, especially projected revenue. I thank you, Brad Bieber. I think you did a great job in trying to explain to them that we're still coming to grips with the expenses and income from Sheridan, and we'll be feeling our way probably for the next 6 months or so. So it's difficult to come up with it in a short time. We closed on the airport on July 14th, and Sam had to submit the budget in May, so you know what we're into. The third area which was questioned was the request for salary increases for the airport director. I think there's some concern that they thought it was a merit increase, and I think, Brad, you also pointed out that it was really because of increased responsibilities that Brad's going to having both Sheridan and TYQ to deal with. I think I was meeting with him this morning, and you had, 9 emails, and they're all on Sheridan this morning, something like that?
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure where we're spending his time. All right, that's all I had to say. Any of the board members have a comment or anything you'd like to say?
No, sir.
If not, we'll move on to public comments. Any comments from the public? Okay, non-airport director's report.
All right, good evening, everyone. Got quite a bit to go over, so we'll get started from the top. The antennas have been installed and the tower have been installed on the new glide slope, but we still have a final few pieces that need to be tied down literally on the tower before the ground inspection and the,
Can you move the mic so you can't really hear you back here?
is this better? All right. So we have a final few pieces that need to be completed on the glide slope before the FAA will come out and do a ground inspection on the system and flight check it. I know Nick has more information to add into that, but all that to say is we're almost there, but we're not quite there yet on the glide slope. The south neighborhood, I guess you want to vote on that now? Would this be the right time, or you want to bring it up in yours?
During Mike's.
Okay, so I'll punt that off until later in Mike's section. Customs facility project is coming along pretty well. We had a key stakeholder meeting at the end of August with a number of elected officials from both Hamilton and the Boone County side of things. We're essentially presenting some of our challenges and concerns with the project going forward. We still have some potential budget issues that we need to work through over probably the coming months or so. We're still trying to finalize a few things on our end on kind of the scope of the services that we're going to provide. But one of the things that came out of that meeting was the potential to kind of create a more of a small-scale economic development study for the customs facility. There were a number of questions from elected officials of, okay, if I invest into this, what do we think the number is going to be in terms of output for what this facility can mean for the local area? So, whether that's a $20 million a year economic impact to the local area or whatever that number might be, I think they're curious to get that. So we're potentially going to be working to figure out those numbers, whether we outsource those or do those internally. That is a to-do on our list for the customs facility at this point. We're also working with Wilpert on the facility design of what the customs facility could look like. So I know you guys are going to present that later, so I'll let you guys do that during your section, but I believe they have an initial scope of work to present for that here in a little bit. We've also completed a tentative agreement between the Airport Authority and Customs. It's essentially an MOU stating that the airport and Customs will work together to help build this facility up. Both physically and from an administrative side. So that's something that we received, legal did look at, Bill looked at. I think we're probably ready to kick that off.
Yeah, they're all signed. I
Yeah.
can send them back into you, we've got them all signed, they're ready to go, so.
Yeah, I don't know if we need a vote on that necessarily, or if we can, if you want, I guess we can.
Probably be good to ratify the signature.
Just to ratify the
since there's not
signature.
a motion to actually execute the document.
Yeah, there's not much, and it's basically just a bunch of federal wording on, you will work with us and we will work with you, and I didn't pick anything else out of that agreement, unless you guys saw something that you felt was concerning from our
So,
perspective. But it's,
typical federal
Yeah.
language
Right.
construed in their favor and
yeah,
ambiguous as to their duties and strict as to ours.
it's more a formality so that we can officially work with them
Yeah.
on this process, so on the design of the facility and everything. It's not binding us into paying for anyone or anything like that.
Do you have is there an actual document somewhere?
There is, I don't know if that got sent out to everyone or not. That might not have made it out to everyone. I know Bill saw it because we have your signature on it. I can send it out, and then we can, maybe I can, so something we can do, maybe we can get a vote now, and then I can send it out after this meeting and say, within a week, if there's no concerns, then I'll send
We
it
just
off.
need a vote for authorization for the president to sign it.
Yeah.
And subject to
Yeah,
your review, our review, and his review.
Yeah, like a 1-week review period or something like
Yeah,
that.
I've already, I've looked at it, you've looked at it, we
Yeah.
had David look at it,
Yeah.
So
so.
you've looked at it?
Yes, we have. Yep.
I think I skimmed through it.
Yeah.
but you've got it, follow the details, and basically, there was no funding in place, whatever, we agreed to work together to get something going, so.
Yeah, the only thing I questioned on it, and I wanted to get confirmation from David that it didn't go against anything the county had, was that clause in there about DEI.
Yeah.
They want to make sure we're not doing any DEI.
Right. No, we looked at it, and that's not gonna cause any problems. for the
Yeah, okay.
county.
Should we vote on it?
Authorize the president
Yeah, right.
to sign the.
I'll make a motion to authorize the president to sign the agreement with the CBP.
Second.
Any further discussion? Now to call the roll?
Bill Beer,
Aye.
Justin Clevenger,
Aye.
Bill Fry,
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Aye.
Okay, good.
Okay. Thanks, and I'll get that sent out either this evening or tomorrow morning for review by the board. All right, and the last thing for customs is we are potentially looking at a late October public announcement. So we talked about making a public announcement at some point this year. We've had discussions with Zionsville. Zionsville's having their State of the Town at the airport on October 29th. And with talking with their mayor, he proposed that would be a good time to make a public announcement on the customs facility as well. So, I mean, pending any concerns necessarily by the board, I think that that's probably a good date to shoot for. We are going to coordinate with elected officials on both sides. This is not just going to be a Zionsville ownership type thing. So we're going to get, hopefully, commissioners, council, mayors from both sides of the county line involved, board members, whoever. So it's going to be more than just the mayor up there talking about it. But
So you're gonna make an announcement, but no decision on what the facility looks like has been made?
the announcement is going to be more of a tentative announcement that we're going through the process of
Seeking?
of going through the process with customs. We're going to make sure we say, you know, we don't have an official design approved yet, but, I mean, obviously, all this is public information, so I think our thought is this is going to get out at some point anyway.
Well, as long as he says that it's, pending agreement on funding by both the counties and the cities involved. I mean,
Yeah, exactly, yeah, we just have to make sure we word it properly, and,
No, that's fine. I'm happy with that.
so, again, that'll be October 29th. So it's going to be hosted at the airport, so Jet Access and I will work together to host the event and figure out how that's going to look, and we're working, it's also a Chamber of Commerce event for them, so we're working with the Chamber of Commerce as well to figure out what that's going to look like. But once I have more information, I'll make sure to send that out to the board, and obviously everyone's invited to that.
Okay.
All right.
Want to explain your pictures?
Yeah, I'll get to that in just a second. Sometimes I surprise myself with what I post on there, so I forgot about that airplane. But just on the rest of what I have on here. So electrical project is not done yet. We're still waiting on the PAPI flight checks. So the runway 18 PAPIs are new for the project and need to be flight checked by the FAA. So that is the final piece really of the puzzle on that project. We hope to have that done soon. They have all the paperwork. It just depends on when they swing by and do that check. The taxiway extension project is well underway. I don't want to steal Nick's thunder too much, but there's been a lot of excitement already on that project, some fun stuff. We actually had a runway, actually a full airport closure last night, Tuesday night coming into this morning, to place a new septic system for the airport. We basically had to relocate that whole system because of the taxiway extension. So the new structure went in. If you want to see, Nick's got pictures on his phone. He was there last night with the work. So some pretty cool stuff that happened. But the project is going well. We're on schedule, and so far the contractor's been great to work with. Some other minor items for this month at Exec. So we hosted the Zionsville Fire Department for their annual Citizens EVOC training course. We always like doing that, and that's an annual tradition for us. I also personally attended a focus group that Zionsville had on establishing a hotel at some point in the town. So Zionsville would like to build a hotel, and believe it or not, they don't have hotels there. So they're kind of exploring this and what that would look like. And one of the potential areas is close by the airport, somewhere up on the northern side. So we want to make sure we stay engaged with that as they move through that process. We did complete a paving repair job in our main parking lot, fixing a number of spots that were rutted and potholed, so that is done. We completed repairs to our septic system. We had quite the alarming find a couple weeks ago when we discovered that we had 10,000 gallons. Do we have a number? thousands of gallons of septic waste going into the ground around the airport from a busted septic system. So luckily, we're doing this job and then discovered that, and it's been fixed. That was a stinky way to start your Saturday. And then we've also been partnering with Hamilton County Pursuit Academy, which is kind of like a hands-on program for high schoolers to get to see workplaces up close and get to intern and shadow with different industries around the county. So we've worked with them a little bit this year. We've hosted a few of their high schoolers, and then we're going to have a couple of tours later on this summer and fall as well for them. And then finally, completed annual county budget hearing. So Bill kind of, I think, recapped how that went pretty well.
That was my impression, not necessarily a recap.
Yeah, well, it was, I think it was a pretty accurate impression. We know it's going to be a little bit different going forward. The status quo has shifted a little bit in how our budget's going to look, so at least for the time being. So, it's stuff that we can work through, we think, and we can make sure that we get the funding we need for certain things. I am going to work with, on a personal level, I'm going to work with the county council to help maybe establish a process for the 12% that was discussed at the last board meeting, and how we can maybe tie in some revenue and stuff like that comes from the airport authority revenue as opposed to county revenue to help fill that gap. So I've talked with Councilor Beaver on that, and I think we might have a game plan going forward on that front. And then on the Sheridan budget front, I think it's going to be a wait and see type of situation. So I think we have enough money for a while, but I think we're going to have to go back to the county council at some point next year to potentially get additional funds. Again, not stuff we can't work through, but challenges that we'll have to overcome as we get to them. Speaking of Sheridan, so I'm going to roll right into that. It's been a very busy month trying to get Sheridan kind of up and running and synced up with the county processes that we have. So we've done a number of items there. I'm going to come back to the fuel management contract last, so I'm going to skip that point. But we've been working really hard to get that 100 low lead tank up to kind of the standards that we wanted it to be at. We have a couple more items that are going to be completed next week, including a new hose and hose reel for that system. But after that, we'll consider that tank kind of fully up and operational. Right now, we do have fuel in it. We did get our first fuel load 2 to 3 weeks ago or so. And have been selling a pretty steady stream of fuel since then. We do have trash services up and running, so we have a new, I think it's a 4-gallon tank, pretty large dumpster that we had dropped out there by Republic, which was nice because we're actually outside their territory, but they kind of made an exception for us to come up and service the airport. We're also working with the Hamilton County Buildings and Grounds to rekey some of the key facilities at the airport, especially the terminal area. We want to kind of integrate kind of an RFID tag type setup, so you can just go up to the door. If you're a tenant, you can put your tag onto the door, it'll let you right in. So that's something that we're working with Buildings and Grounds as we speak. We're also working with Brightview, our landscapers, who also do snow removal, to craft up a snow removal process with them and get a quote for how much those services are going to cost. So we know that snow removal is going to look a little bit different at Sheridan than it does at Exec, but we definitely want to make sure that we hit Sheridan and keep that cleaned up over the winter time and usable as an airport. So we're working that contract now. I should have hopefully prices by the next board meeting on that. I'll talk about the pictures, and then we'll talk fuel contract after that. So you had the question on the pictures. So the picture of the semi truck here with the airplane mock-up was kind of a special event that NetJets held at the airport 2 weeks ago or so, where they brought in the mock-up of the Citation, fill me in, Everest? Ascent. Close. Mountain. I had the right idea. The Citation Ascent, which is a new model, Citation model that Cessna is putting out, hence why it's on a truck and not in real life. So they brought that in, and they brought in a couple of their brand new aircraft in their fleet as well, and hosted an event at the airport, which was pretty cool to see. Other stuff, parking lot repair going on, and then obviously Beck's in full swing there, and then the bottom picture is a picture of our brand new fuel terminal at Sheridan. So it's speaking of Sheridan again, so last month, we kind of entered into a tentative agreement with Jet Access to provide fuel management at Sheridan. We've worked, I say we, myself and Sean White and the rest of the Jet Access team, Ben McCauley and others, have worked on kind of a long-term fuel management contract with Jet Access on how that's going to look. And what we essentially came up with mirrors our temporary one-month solution that we came up with last meeting. So I think you guys all have that in front of you, right? Yeah, it looks like everyone has a copy of that. So in essence, it's kind of a two-part agreement. One part is kind of the monthly management fee. So that's listed on there. It's $1,500 a month. I don't have it in front of me. Of course, that'd be too easy if I had a copy. Thank you. So yeah, so it's basically $1,500 a month for the management fee of the system. And then instead of working out a traditional fuel, per gallon fuel fee that we work at, like with Exact, we're doing kind of a flat fee per gallon. So it's the wholesale cost plus $1 that Jet Access is going to take, and then the airport authority gets the rest of the basically the delta between that amount and what we're selling it for. So we're going to end up actually with quite a bit more, per gallon sold in terms of revenue than what we have at Exec as an example, just in how this is set up. And then the other part is the $100 a day. I know that's been discussed a lot. $100 a day is basically a trip fee that Jet Access is charging to send someone up there on a daily basis to do fuel quality checks. The fuel quality checks, and I'm going to try and explain it, so step in if I get this wrong, but it's essentially to ensure that the quality of the fuel coming out of the tank is up to standards, and it's something we do at Exec, and it's something that I believe your insurance requires from a liability perspective to ensure that we're putting appropriate fuel that you're sourcing into aircraft. Did I get that right?
The fuel providers and standards put out by both the FAA and your fuel providers and your insurance companies, there's multiple checks, and kind of the way we set this up, and this does mirror an agreement we have actually at Hendricks County Airfield with Lift Academy, so I just mirrored that similar agreement. But you have to do daily, weekly, quarterly, an annual, monthly, quarterly, and annual checks on fuel. And so there's certain things you got to do daily, certain things you have to do, et cetera. And so the monthly fee that we've got is for the weeklies, the monthlies, the quarterlies, the annuals, coming and receiving the fuel, making sure that we actually receive the fuel, because you actually have to go through a quality check process when the fuel gets delivered as well. And so, and it also includes the management of all the back-end software, all of that stuff that we're all handling, et cetera. So the daily would only actually be applied 6 days a week at maximum. If we were going up there every day of the week, we would only, because one of those days is kind of covered by the monthly, because we're going to go up weekly regardless. So, and if we were going up there for, say, another day of the week to go receive a load of fuel, then you wouldn't get double hit. But our agreement with Hendricks County, for example, it mirrors that, but they're trained to do the dailies. And obviously, if we're sending a guy up, takes 25 minutes to get there, got to be there, do the checks, come back. You've got an hour and a half or so into that process, and so. I think, as most of you know, there's got to be something for that. And so that's what it's for. We're not trying to, like I said, I think I've told many of you this, we're not trying to make money on this really. It's just purely trying to make it make sense from a business perspective. But you do have to do these things. If you didn't do these things and you got audited by your fuel provider, they could pull it. If something happened, you're potentially putting yourself at risk from a liability perspective if you aren't doing these required fuel quality checks. So they're just an important part of the process, and doing them right and making sure they're done consistently, and you have documentation so that if you're ever audited, and God forbid if anything ever happened, first thing somebody's going to do is go back and check that paperwork. And that paperwork better be correct, and it better not be pencil whipped. And so, we've been, our team's been trained in this process. We go to training annually for these things, both through AvFuel and through NATA. All of our guys are set up in that. And so, as you guys, included in that cost too, is if the airport gets their part-time folks or other folks that they want to train to do that, we're totally willing to do the training for that and making sure that and doing the oversight of the daily checks as that is transitioned to other folks. But you do need to make sure it happens. And if we're going to kind of be involved in the process because it's flowing through our fuel account, through our fuel, et cetera, technically we're taking on liability too, and just can't have a spot where we're not doing it the right way at the end of the day, so.
Yeah, and I was going to add on to that, so that this $100 a day it's something we're probably going to pay for a little bit until we get a part-time maintenance person hired. Just a quick update on that. That was approved for starting now essentially by the county council at the budget hearings. So we're already working with the HR department to get that post, or that job listing posted on the website. So I don't have a timeline on that yet. This is information that I got this afternoon. But I am hopeful that that will be posted soon, within the next few weeks, and then hired, a few weeks after that. So it's a fee we'll have to pay for a little while, but not indefinitely. Once we do hire a part-time person, the hope would be that they would be able to do this roughly 5 times a week. And so this would basically be a 2 times a week type fee, 1 to 2 times a week that Jet Access would be doing this part of it at least. And then the final thing I just wanted to highlight on here is this is a 1-year agreement, and David, you can, chip in too. I know you want to add this part in, so, but essentially it's a 1-year, it's not listed as a 1-year agreement. We want to add that in, correct?
Yeah, originally, the draft, you might have gotten, provided that the contract would be auto-renewed. We've interpreted a state provision that we don't think that's allowed, but we are allowed to renew for any term of years so long as both parties agree, so we just ask that be revisited every year, and we've added language in there to reflect that. So.
Just a new set of signatures.
Yeah, so just basically approved every year, however you want that to look, whether it's a board vote or just something that Jet Access and I sit down and sign off on. But that's essentially the agreement in a nutshell. So that also includes them managing the fuel system, the QT pod, the software for that as well. And again, basically writing us a check once a month for the revenue, as we discussed, that delta between what Jet Access is taking and what's left in the posting of the fuel, so the fuel cost.
And we'd also, because we're doing that, and we're selling the fuel this way, we're gonna remit the state excise tax, so you don't have to mess with having an aviation fuel permit and all the other things. We'll extend all of that. We'll remit the excise tax that's required by the state, and we would also be eating, kind of in that upcharge and everything, we'd be eating the credit card fees, because obviously the credit card processing is running through us, and so we're going to eat the credit card fee in that as well. So, and that's not included separately as part of cost. So the county's really is getting the delta. So.
Okay, I think we've pretty much introduced everything with that, unless there's anything else you want to add. But with that, I'll throw it over to the board. If there's any questions or anything like that, I'll attempt to answer, or Sean can attempt to answer. And yeah.
Sam, one of the board members sent me the note, and I think I heard the same thing about the the announcement of the customs office happening at a City of Zionsville event. I know we really want to get to like them, but they have not been writing checks for 30 years. I think that event, it can happen at the same time or place, but that event needs to be publicized as a county commissioners and county council event. I mean, we want to get to like them, but they haven't been writing checks for 30 years.
Okay.
And they still haven't written a check for the customs office either.
Yeah.
I can throw that back at them. And
Well, I mean, I don't want to offend them or anything,
Yeah.
but if it's a joint meeting, fine, but at least the top 2 numbers ought to be the people that have
yeah.
put the sweat in it. And if we want to have a joint announcement,
I interpreted it as a joint announcement when I talked to the mayor of Zionsville, that he seemed to make it, he was like, I'm going to invite all the, the commissioners, and I hadn't followed up. That was one phone conversation we had. But
I think this might be one, and I'm not, you know me well enough, I'm not a big etiquette touchy-feely kind of guy, but I think we better be a little more touchy-feely on this one.
okay.
And Board of Commissioners, County Council, City of Zionsville, kind of all invite you, not Zionsville invites the people who've been paying the bills for 30 years. That will not be good.
Okay.
That's one of those things you can't quite erase from the
Right.
chalkboard. Thank you, David.
If nobody else, I just want to go over a couple of things. Sean, I appreciate all the help you gave Sam to get fuel flowing at Sheridan. I'm not taking issue with any of your pricing and whatnot. I'm in the furnace business. If I drive out to your house, I charge you $100. I mean, I'm not taking issue with any of your costs. I want to look at it from our point of view.
Sure.
Okay. Sam, we paid $20,000 for that terminal?
QT pod, yeah, 18,000 plus about 2,000 to install it.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you will, if and when we hire a part-time person after some training, you'll let them do the inspection?
The daily inspections? Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
And I know this is not a big money maker for you. You're doing this mainly as a help to us. Would you be mad if sometime in the future we did this on our own?
No, not at all. No.
So even if we had a year contract with you and in month 9, we say, hey, Sean,
No.
we're gonna go in a different direction.
I'm totally fine with that. No, but the only issue that I would take, is if the fuel's gonna flow through us, that's where I've gotta make sure our liability's
Yes, I
covered.
understand that, and
Yeah,
I checked into it, and you're working under your insurance and the level of service you provide your customers at your airports.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
Which is what you've got to do. Now, this is a country airport, which is not the same as Indy Exec or Mount Comfort or whatnot.
Yep.
But you've got a certain standard you got to go by, and if you want to help us, we got to go by your standards.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm happy with that. I'm not saying at some point we might do something different, but it's the way to get fuel flowing. What I will like to see is after we get a part-time person, we get them trained to do the fuel inspection and whatnot like that, and the fuel flow that actually goes through Sheridan after, 6 months worth of looking at it. I don't expect to make a bunch of money, but we can't lose money, you know what I mean? And so that's what really I'll be looking at is, the costs that we're paying against whatever revenue it is it worthwhile for us to pursue the fuel in a different manner?
Yep.
It makes,
Yeah, and I mean, I'm happy to talk through the different options for you, too, because I mean, there are other ways of doing it. The key is I would just say, from where I sit and just having done this for a while from a fuel quality perspective, what can get you into trouble is if you don't do fuel quality the right way.
right.
And I think my advice to you as the county, you don't want the liability of doing it the wrong way. And if something happens and your employee didn't do it the right way, Kokomo got into that trouble and, we had, there's some issues. So that's just the key is, it's not something you want to mess
I can
with.
see that, but I appreciate everything you've done. I'm not unhappy with it. $100 a trip, if they ain't charging $100 a trip, they're losing money. I mean, that's just the world we live in today. But if we get a person, you can train them, they can do the daily inspection.
Yep, and then we'll oversee it, make sure that it's happening and all
No
that.
particular problem with that. And after a few months, we'll see how much we're selling, how much it's costing us, what is our deal? Do we want to go in a different direction? Do we want to modify it? Whatever the case may be.
Yep.
I got no particular, I didn't realize that the daggone fuel reader costs $20,000. But such is life in the United States.
Yeah.
They're the only game in town, too.
Yeah, they used to be about half that.
But other than that, I looked at this. I don't care if you sign the agreement or not.
One question for you.
Yes.
On assuming we get a temporary person, will that person, in terms of liability, they would be covered under the county's liability
Yes.
policy?
If they're a county employee, but there is probably no piece of paper that we'll talk about that's more important than the certificate training
Yeah.
the insurance
Right.
guy.
I
I mean, it's
understand, right.
huge,
Right.
huge liability.
Yes, they're covered.
Part-time will still be covered under it,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Right. So that's all I got for that. We appreciate Sean. If it works out that it's a money-sucking deal, we may go in a different direction. We'll wait a few months to see. The fuel flow at Sheridan is not anything comparable as to what any exec does. So we'll see what the numbers and figures work out to.
Those daily inspections,
Yeah, well, not everybody does daily inspections.
Well, I know.
Don't make assumptions without,
I don't,
but I'm good with whatever you guys, if you guys want to sign it, that's fine.
I think we-
It's not a huge profit center for Sean and his guys, one way or the other. But it did help us out in a pinch. We needed
Oh, I know.
the fuel flowing. I go up there about every weekend and try to talk to the renters and see what their concerns are. And the fuel flowing was one of the most important things to the people that rent that Sheridan.
Good. Say, if you don't have fuel, you can't take off.
Yeah. Well, you can stop someplace.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But it's convenient. That's all I got on that
All right,
particular
so
side.
do we need to, I guess we need to take a vote on whether we're gonna sign this? Or do we just go ahead and sign it?
probably, if you want to sign something, you ought to have
I'll make a motion to approve and sign the pool flow agreement as presented by Sean and Sam.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Phil Beer,
Aye.
Justin Clevenger,
Aye.
Bill Fry,
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Aye.
Great. Motion carries.
All right.
Let's see, so jet access.
I got one more thing, sorry.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
wait, there's more. I also have a quote that even with my newly increased delegation of authority is still just out of reach, so.
What?
I have a new quote that's just out of reach even with my new delegation of authority, so. I have a quote that is $19,167.75 for crack sealant around the airport, and specifically on aircraft movement areas. This is that exact, I should specify. Just a little backstory. So coming up in October, most likely, we'll have a couple of overnight closures as we tie in the new taxiway into our basically the north part of the Alpha 1 area. So when we do that, I want to take advantage of that time, do some crack sealing around the airport, including the airport's overrun area on the north side, and a large chunk of the parallel taxiway Alpha and Alpha 4 as well. So pretty large area. I do have a map if anyone wants to see it, but it'd be taking advantage of that closure and crack sealing essentially every movement surface of the airport, at least taxiways, that we're not going to be already reconstructing in a short amount of time. So it'll make sure all our pavement is good for the next 5 to 10 years.
Need a motion to approve?
Yeah, I do have a map if anyone wants to see it, but it's.
This is for the crack repair, we talked about this today, okay?
Yeah, it's basically the red areas here.
Yeah, no problem.
I can give you that cost again too if you want it.
Yes,
It's just the two of you, isn't it?
there's three. What was the number?
$19,167.75.
Very precise. I will make a motion to approve the cost of $19,167.25 for the crack ceiling as shown by Sam.
Technically 75 cents.
75 cents? That too.
I'll second it. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Phil Beer,
Aye.
Justin Clevenger,
Aye.
Bill Fry,
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Aye.
The ayes have it, motion carries.
I think that's all I got,
Okay.
I think, for now.
Let's get this. It's still gonna have to be signed by Justin when he gets back. So. All right, Wilbur.
Skip tick access.
you want us before jet access?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sean's been up here so much lately, I just thought he would. Not the
All right, well, we will keep it as short as possible for you all, so I'll kind of dive through here. So August is the biggest month that we've had at Jet Access, at least in the recent history that we can remember. It's the first time we cracked 150,000 gallons in a single month. So you'll be enjoying, I think, that check this month. And then we also had a couple events. Here over last month, we had our Veloci event, which is our partnership with Automobilia, bring in all the supercars and airplanes, and pretty cool event for the people that do come that way. And then Sam already hit on the NetJets event. So yeah, we kind of do an annual NetJets event where they bring in some clients and get some exposure to their aircraft, and then also to our facility, and always brings in some good people. The taxiway project, I just wanted to mention that so far everything on our end has been fantastic to deal with. Nick's communicated great, Sam's communicated great, and everything is going honestly smoother than I expected it to go. So I just kind of wanted to show some appreciation and acknowledgement on your side. So thank you. I did want to, Sam, I heard you mention something about the customs facility and kind of what potential impact that might have on the community. I just want to make a note to get with me. I've had some conversations with some clients and other individuals that might help you in compiling that. And then I know obviously we just talked a lot about Sheridan. I was kind of looking up some information just to give you some numbers. Brad, I know you mentioned it doesn't pump as much fuel as an Indy exec, but Sheridan has pumped since the 21st of August to just yesterday, 700 gallons, which puts it on about 1,100 gallon per month pace. So I know some of the initial quotes and expectations, we're kind of hoping for about 1,000. So you are on pace with your initial.
Well, you know, when the snow flies.
So obviously those are early numbers, but
Good.
but it
That's
does
good
confirm, kind of confirm what you all were hoping for and looking for. So that is all I have for you. So Sean.
And then, yeah, I just wanted to thank you all for the time in the executive meeting, and I think I was going to request a board action as a result of that. Coming out of that, we obviously have been working forward and moving forward on the executive hangar project that we've had many discussions about, and would like and appreciate the board's grace as we work towards the next work towards having a full lease agreement in place and ready to sign by the October 8th meeting, working with both David and Mike on that, but would appreciate it if the board would allow or make a motion to allow us to start moving dirt in that area, and pending the approval of the mass excavation plan by both Wolpert and the airport director, so both Sam and Nick or Chris. So we would submit that to them. It would then get approved by them, and then we could start doing that, which would probably be only a week or two before the board meeting. As I mentioned earlier today, that would all be at our own risk, obviously. But at the end of the day, the board would, if something did happen, you just would have a flatter and more improved site than you have today. So would request the board's willingness to allow us to get started on it to beat the winter timeline. Mike?
For the record, you're assuring us that that work will not interfere with any existing movements or traffic at the airport?
Yes, sir. We'll make sure that all safety plans and barricades and everything are all approved by Sam beforehand and are appropriate. So.
Not going to block any existing customers from any access?
No, we're going to be doing all the work from actually coming behind the hangars and actually improving some of the driveways behind the executive hangars for construction access.
I know that from back there, but I want it on the record.
Yep.
Well, I'll make the motion to allow Jet Access to begin preliminary construction activities, including but not limited to the excavation and foundation construction on their new executive hangar facility located just south of the recently constructed executive hangars, provided a lease agreement is approved before the end of November.
Second.
Any further discussion? Now we'll call the roll.
Phil Beer,
Aye.
Justin Clevenger,
Aye.
Bill Fry,
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Aye.
The ayes have it, motion carries.
Thank you all very much, appreciate the support and the help, and we're excited to add more hangars to exec, so, thank you.
Okay, now, Wilbur.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys.
I'll start with the glide slope, just a little bit more detail on what Sam already reported. Towers up, antennas are up, they're functioning. We were optimistic that the flight check would happen with all that equipment in place. However, they wanted all the ancillary equipment to come to the airport and get installed prior to flight checking it and commissioning. So that equipment has been received at the airport. If you could remember, we had the tower was ready and prepared, and it was shipped prior to all the other stuff getting manufactured, so that's why they didn't come together. But that equipment is at the airport. Wolpert will have someone out at the airport this month to install that, and we intend to have the ILS commissioned ideally end of the month or October, so that's the time
The
frame
work
on
that needs
that.
to be done more than, I understand, it was just grounding the towers.
It's grounding and then the maintenance platforms that go at each
Okay.
antenna as well. Yeah, things that are not critical to the function of the tower, but hearsay. So that's the update for the ILS. Sam already touched on the runway 36, or 1836 in the electrical project, so no update from last month. Waiting on the flight check for that. Taxway Alpha extension, I'll hit on the high stuff. We've been having weekly progress meetings, and as you've heard, thank you. They've been very beneficial to everyone here at the airport, especially with everyone working so close in proximity around that apron. The biggest highlight from last month to this month is we've obviously broken ground, and we just installed the 6,000 gallon septic tank. It was 56,000 pounds. We shut the airport down last night at 9 p.m. Everything was well oiled and organized. A semi truck backed up on the apron, and the crane lifted it up. We had a 90-ish foot crane boom, lifted it up and brought it right back over to the spot, and then they were done and out by this morning. So
I had time to look at it today, it was pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
if you fall asleep early, you wouldn't even know it happened. So that's the big highlight for this
6,000 gallons, is that what you said?
6,000, yeah.
What was the old one? The old one was that?
It was a combination of two. It was 3,023 or 24.
Okay,
So it was like
we're
55-ish.
increasing it over there.
Yeah, so we
okay.
increased capacity slightly to plan for a couple additional buildings before permanent septic or permanent sewer comes to the airport.
When will that be in use? I know obviously the construction process is going on, but when will that septic, that new tank be utilized?
Ideally, the system goes live by the end of this month. I think it's the second to last week this month. Everything gets reconnected and we're on to the new pipes and infrastructure. But it all goes out to the existing field. Once all that's done, we're also doing storm pipe because that's the deepest thing, and then we're working our way back up to the surface. Once all the storm infrastructure and septic is installed, you're going to see the project move pretty quick with under drains, aggregate, and concrete paving. Honestly, the most difficult stuff on the project is the septic stuff and the tank being one of it. So we're over that large hurdle, and we're really happy about that. So. November is substantial completion. It's still consistent, and their schedule has not changed since the start. So we're on track to finish by the end of the calendar year. Questions? Okay. Taxway Alpha rehab. We've had a meeting with Sam to discuss the safety and phasing plans this month. Made some fine tunes. We're going to finalize those plans and specifications and then put them on the shelf there. We're going to look at the NDOT letting to figure out when the best time to let that project is, just to make sure that we have the right contractors focused on the project. That maximizes your all's dollar because ideally you're getting the best cost. And we'll go from there. And then both for the North Ramp reconstruction project and the Taxway Alpha project,
We need to coordinate, as we always do, with NDOT and the FAA regarding funding type and source. As you can see in the agenda, there's different funding types and sources, and we'll be communicating with them accordingly based on the project and the funding types to maximize what's available and given to those entities to see how much we can get here at exec. So, and as always, I've got the schedule there showing all the multiple design projects and construction projects, and I'd like to say we haven't had any changes to that since last year when we initially created it, so we're on track for everything. Moving into local stuff, just two things. The Sheridan Airport update. We will be working with Sam to create, a rough idea of hangar locations and I guess a schematic plan for development at the airport. Sam's been asked by several people to construct hangars out there, and so he'd like to have a map indicating where the best locations for different types of buildings would be. So we'll prepare that for you and get that going. And then last is the Customs and Border Patrol. Sam mentioned earlier in the conversation. So we have also been working with Sam on that contract. It's ready, and with Sam's approval, we can move forward with that. But it's essentially, so when we had our CBP meeting at the Bex facility several weeks ago, they essentially needed to have a approved floor plan prior to moving forward with final construction documents. And so what this contract does is it gets us to that CBP approval of the floor layout, square footage, room sizes, corridors, things of that nature. The contract includes a single floor layout and then a two-story layout. So we essentially have two layouts to try and fine-tune and put that information in front of CBP, and then it also covers the coordination efforts, meetings, et cetera, the back and forth with them to get to that final approval from them prior to going forward with the final construction plans. So that's the update that we have for CBP. With Sam's approval, we intend to get started on that as soon as possible. So that's Wolpert's update.
Yeah, I just want to check, Mike, I received from the FAA two documents for grant assurances, or grant agreements that I signed, and it was forwarded on to you. Have you checked your mail, see if they're there?
They probably are with the Secretary's office. I'll check.
Okay, they gotta be back in by the 15th, that's.
Okay.
I got a call from Melanie yesterday, so.
Okay.
Her boss is on her. So
I have a
she's on
copy.
me.
They have
Sign
them?
it tonight.
Do you have a copy?
I have a copy.
Getting my signature.
See what it looks like.
Those came out this week, and thanks for reminding me, because those are for the taxiway alpha rehab project, but more importantly, it's for the lighting project.
3-1801, here.
Right.
I think they pay 39, I think.
Attorney signature.
But to the point that we exercised the county to help with the construction of taxiway alpha, this money is allowing us to receive reimbursement for the money we've spent on the electrical project.
Right.
I've got the documents here. I'm gonna skim through them, and then we'll have a motion for you to sign it for the grant.
Agreement.
And this is the grant for,
It's 38 and 39, I think.
Yeah, 3-18-0103-039-02, or 2025.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've already e-signed it, it came for an e-sign. and I've
oh,
already-
you've already signed it?
Yeah,
It just needs an attorney signature to execute the grant.
and then it was gonna be sent to your email after I signed it, so.
Okay.
And then I guess when you e-sign it, it goes right back to FAA.
So we probably need a motion to ratify your signature and instruct me to approve the document for project number 3-18-013-038-2025.
Well, that's a different one, this was 039. the one I
There's two
signed.
grants, there's 38 and 39.
Okay, 38 and 39, all the same numbers, one's 38 and one's 39, and they're both here for signature.
I don't know if I was forwarded both copies. I
Hmm?
have one, the one you sent me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's
two.
138,
There,
139.
if there hasn't been two, there will be two.
Okay,
Okay, I've only seen two on one on my end.
There will be
Same.
two.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there was two, 38 and 39. And they both, they're just looking for e-sign, and I signed it. and-
This one is just 38, right?
Sam, is that on 38 or 39, do you know?
Well, I'm flipping through the pages and all of them are, the next to last number is 38 on all of these. And I don't see a 39.
This is the one you sent Friday.
Is it Friday?
I think you sent it to me Friday.
But this one, you're talking about the Friday, but we don't know if
They're identical documents, with the exception of the grant amount and the number.
Yeah, I only have 38 that I was CC'd on.
Then that would be 38 in your hand.
It should say on the second line of the cover page.
Yeah, I don't see any CCs on either one of these, but it must be sent to you.
what is the subject matter of 39?
Taxiway Alpha rehab design and electrical guidance signs, I would imagine, unless it's flip-flopped with 38. I didn't,
38 was the lighting and vault replacement, 39 was the taxiway.
okay. That's usually on the next page.
So we need a motion for your president to sign 38 and grant number 38 as presented, and to sign grant 39 as soon as it is presented to him.
Well, they both come to me. I've signed them both.
You signed them both?
I e-signed them both and sent them up to you.
Okay, so we need to ratify
We
your
need to ratify
signature
it.
and authorize me to sign. Thank you.
They said they had a deadline of September 15th, so I didn't want to mess around with it.
We better not mess around. I better check my email. Okay.
All right, so I'll make a motion to allow the president to ratify grant agreements for AIP 38 and AIP 39.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Bill Beer,
Aye.
Justin Clevenger,
Aye.
Bill Fry,
Yes,
Dave Richter.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure you know it was in your inbox somewhere to get these signed, so.
I'll sign those tomorrow and get them to you to send them in.
Okay.
Okay,
Anything else?
you guys done?
You
Nick,
done?
are you done?
No, yeah, we're just sidebar.
You're just talking about what you're gonna do tomorrow, right? You know?
Yeah, that's what he do know.
All right, so where are we at? Okay, old business, no old business, new business. We've got Beck's request for approval on hangar development plan.
Cable up here to plug in.
Did you do this last month? Did you do 90% last month?
What's that?
You know where to plug in?
Yes,
Yeah, those
What
cables
was
now.
it?
this is 92%.
It's not the end of the world.
I think there's a drawer on the side that pulls out.
Very top.
It's the same. Okay. You want to start us off?
All right, good evening. Just want to give a quick update. I know last month we were in for our structural building, or structural foundation package approval. Thank you for that approval. We've been moving ahead with work on that. Hope to start foundations here in the next week or two. Things have been going well out there for the most part. Sam's been great to work with on just coordination of all things there at the airport. And then Joe's here to talk about the building package.
Good evening. Chris Snyder is out sick today, so you guys are stuck with me. So yes, we have completed our 90% design for the new Bex Executive Hangar. We have an all-day design review meeting tomorrow, and then after that, we are planning to file the building permits for potential construction. October 1st will be the date that the 100% stamped plans will be delivered to Bex for bidding and construction. So we'd like your motion for approval to proceed with these plans and go out to permit.
Before we do that, is there any concern about the coordination between them being as far as they are and the Border Patrol Customs Office plans, and whether or not they're gonna approve what they're gonna have in their plans, et cetera?
And that's why the timing of that design is so important, so that we move forward in parallel. So,
Is anybody at risk with going forward with the building permits and not necessarily having the customs facilities approved by them?
that's specifically why we had two layouts in the schematic design, so that if we're limited to a certain thing from CBP, we have that ability to go vertical. So that's the specific reason, so we manage that risk.
If the customs doesn't go at all for some reason, Bex is gonna use that space for something else.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about that part of it.
Okay.
I just, so you feel like you have a pretty good backup plan with the second floor to deal with
Yes,
unexpected concerns from the CBP?
yes.
Okay, but it's still got a little bit of finger crossing going on.
Yeah. So we haven't gotten the final blessing from them yet, but we're doing what they told us to do. Is that-
Correct, so I mean, you all can add in as well, you were in the meeting. But when we had that meeting at their Bex facility, they expressed a specific number of square footage that would be needed based on certain room requirements. And so based on what the plans that we have currently show, there's the possibility of negotiations with CBP to get it onto one floor, or the potential that we do need two. So that is why our contract was written as it was.
And I'll add, the permit for the Bex hangar only includes the shell of the CBP building, right? So what's already been ordered through Balin. Now, if that changes, if they need more square footage or a second floor, the full build-out of the CBP building design will be a separate project, separate permit.
Did you say or a second floor? Because I thought you said.
It's still up in the air if they want to expand the first floor or potentially go
So if it
vertical
goes
with
to
the
a second
second.
floor, that's a problem.
No,
No, so when we ordered the building, because we couldn't get clear direction from them, because there wasn't, the agreement wasn't completed with the airport, basically what we said was, okay, well, we're gonna design this building so that if there's a need to go vertical, the building is already accounted for that. So we have the vertical clearance to add a second floor with plenty of headroom on that second floor.
Okay.
So you've got the flexibility to adapt.
Yeah, the steel building package of the customs facility, the footprint itself is set, but we have all the options really in the world to go vertical, because the roof is already set at an elevation that allows for a second story.
Okay, I just want to make sure we had the conversation and knew that there's at least still some unknowns out there, and
Yeah,
Plan B is always good to have.
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, we're kind of working at two different speeds. We have the speed that Bex is going, which is quick, which is good. And then we have kind of the speed that we're working with customs, which is a little bit slower. And so getting information and getting answers on some of this stuff is not as quick on that front as we would like. So I think this mitigates some of that risk. And like Wilbert said, we're designing two different options, depending on what they come back with, essentially.
Thank you. Sorry, go back at it.
I'm all done unless you had anything else to add. The plans were all sent to you last week, I believe, and I'm showing here just some of our elevation plans.
Do you
That's
need
it.
board action?
Yeah, motion for approval of the plans at 90%, so we can proceed on to the 100% set.
So moved.
A second. All right, we'll call a roll.
Phil Beer.
Aye.
Justin Clevenger.
Aye.
Bill Fry.
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Yes.
I think you guys have done a marvelous job. I don't think we can add anything to it.
All right, thank you.
All right, legal counsel report.
Just a few things. As far as the long-discussed runway protection zone agreement, we've discussed that issue in exec and would ask for authority to move forward as discussed in that meeting.
I would move that we authorize Michael to move forward with the negotiations as he's got them all set up and presented in exec today.
Second.
Any further discussion? Now, please call a roll.
Phil Beer.
Aye.
Justin Clevenger.
Aye.
Bill Fry.
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Aye.
Okay. Anything else, Mike?
That's all I've got, except there's a big stack of stuff coming from, it sounds like, from our friends at Jet Access. So look forward to receiving those and have expansion full speed ahead for the next 2 or 3 years, it sounds like.
Cool. All right. County counsel?
I got 2 or 3 things. I want to start off by pointing out a few gentlemen in our crowd. I want you guys to raise your hands. We got Jeff Apple, Nick Boland, and Walter Nye. These 3 gentlemen run the Sheridan Airport for the past several years.
Okay.
As you know, the previous owner didn't actually live here. These guys got airplanes and hangars out there. They actually run the airport, took care of all the stuff there. And so I want to acknowledge them, and I want you to see their face.
I want to ask Justin if they have any comments to make to the
You
board.
guys want to talk? No.
All right.
Number 2,
Hey, Jeff and Brad and I are probably the only 3 that have been here since the very, very beginning, aren't we, Jeff?
Yes. Haley's been doing a wonderful job. The council's assistant, Kelly's been helping her. We've got most of the renters to pay their rent. I think we got 2 left, and I know Nick Boland, he's got their phone number, so I'll get with him and we'll get the message to him. But it's going pretty well.
Okay.
Getting the rent coming in. Didn't I see a memo you're going out on the 19th to do hangar inspections?
Yeah, we're
Was it the
doing,
19th?
next Tuesday, I think it is, we're going out there, and we're gonna check every door at the airport and make sure they're working properly. and-
Okay. So are you gonna take a peek inside?
I think we will.
I think I'll come out there with you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna take a look inside and see what's in all those
Tuesday?
things out there.
Tuesday?
Go ahead.
Tuesday's when this is happening?
Next Tuesday, now that I'm on the record here, let me make sure I got the right date.
I thought it was the
Yeah, next Tuesday, the 16th,
16th.
at 9 a.m.
Good.
Okay.
So have a fun day.
So it's been going pretty good. A couple of things that I did over the last month. We were having a real problem getting floors cleaned and the bathrooms cleaned. And there was a lady that did it. She had to have insurance. We couldn't make that work. I made a call to Buildings and Grounds, and lo and behold, we got a person that comes out there once a week to clean the floors and do the bathrooms. It just happens, just by the miracle of county government. Also, I think it was about a month ago, I talked to Chris Stice at the Parks Department, and he brought out, one of his guys brought out a batwing mower and mowed the runway, and it looked great because the rain quit, so it kind of slowed down on the mowing. It was just the runway that he used, and I think it took him 4.5, 5 hours, something like that. Anyway, so I think what I'll do, going into the growing season next year, I'll see if I can work it out. Maybe have those guys come by like once a month.
Great.
Get a better finish on the grass runway than the regular mowing, but It works pretty good. Sam, have you had any contact about the second commemorative airport hangar?
Is that the C8 hangar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one.
If you want to.
Yeah, so Sam and I talked about it yesterday. We'll have an agreement ready for you by the next meeting. Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, they're not moving in until after October?
This might be a nit question, but I believe that they have a current hangar at the Indy Metropolitan Airport through October, if I recall correctly.
So.
Maybe, something like that.
So that one will be empty
Yeah.
until the October time.
Yeah, so
Right.
we're gonna get them moved in October.
Okay.
So we just need to finalize how the county's, we need to finalize how the county's lease is gonna look.
Okay.
It's kind of gonna be a template for every lease after it, so we wanna
Yeah.
make sure we get it right.
So that we can use that going forward.
Yeah.
When we roll.
So
it.
that they're not, this is just the hangar, not the half hangar.
Right.
Correct,
They-
yeah, just
I
the-
went to one of their meetings and explained to them, yes, you can have the hangar, no, you can't have the half hangar. And lastly, that's about all I wanted to say on all that. Lastly, I wanted to confirm, no, not, I got one more thing. When we were in budget hearings, I was looking at a piece of paper that the tourism provided for us, what they're doing with the innkeeper's tax, and the $500,000 for the customs office is in the 26 budget.
Good.
Yeah. What that means is, yes, they have allocated $500,000 in the 26 budget for the customs.
It also means we have to get it built
So
in 26.
all we have to do is have to figure out what size it is.
Yeah, that's one piece. We'll take it.
So anyway, we'll cross that bridge, but I did see it on the official paperwork they handed us, that project was in there. Also, I wanted to just kind of flush it out, what Bill and Sam were alluding to. The winds of county government have shifted for the past, 5 or 6 years, maybe longer. Whatever you could think of, we would fund. This year, we cut $20 million out of the proposed budget. So the only thing that means to you, the aviation board, is you gotta think more critically about future projects. The ones you've already got are funded, okay? It's the future projects that need the county to chip in. It will not be as easy to go back to the county council and get several $100,000. Our revenue is down a little bit, but it's more things I don't want to go into right now. But the wind's shifted. It's not as easy as it used to be. So just keep that in mind as people come up to you. Yeah, we need $1 million worth of rent net. Not only that, you already borrowed $3 million off the county council.
Right.
We're going to get repaid.
Well, that was
sometime by the
one
end
of
of
the
the
things
year.
I signed.
But I'm just giving you the heads up. We're not as flush as we've been in the past. Everything will be more difficult. I'm gonna go with that.
Excuse me. Got a crick in my throat. All right, that it? Brad?
That's all I got, yeah.
Secretary report.
Okay, I need a motion to approve Indy Exec Airport vendor claims in the amount $386,378.22.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Bill Beer,
Aye.
Justin Clevenger,
Aye.
Bill Fry,
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Yes.
And then I need a motion to approve Sheridan Airport vendor claims in the amount $31,622.01.
I will make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Bill Beer,
Pardon me while I choke out here.
Get a vote out of them before we.
Justin Clevenger,
Aye.
Bill Fry,
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Yes.
And then approval of payroll claims.
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Bill Beer,
Aye.
Justin Clevenger,
Aye.
Bill Fry,
Aye.
Dave Richter.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to ask Sam, you sent out, I think, the TYQ budget back in May. Can you send a copy of the shared budget to everybody?
Yeah.
Probably want to wait till after October because we have budget adoption in October, so you won't have the official.
Okay, I was just curious to see
You know what I'm saying?
just to see what was submitted.
I'm telling you, the auditor calls me every few days, and we gotta make a tweak here and a tweak there, so the official document won't be official till October.
Do we know when in October, before or after our board meeting? Before?
It'll be before, it's the first Wednesday, we'll do it at the county council meeting,
Okay.
which is the first Wednesday. in
Okay.
October.
We'll have it ready for the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah.
All right,
Not that I think yours is gonna change.
Yeah.
But I'm not even sure the auditor will give you a final, what got adopted.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right, all right.
It's the first year for the auditor.
Yeah.
also.
so what you're telling us is we have to start thinking about bake sales at the airport?
Not yet, not yet. No, I'm not saying panic, I'm just saying, one more notch on the belt.
Yeah, all right. Well, with that, I think we're adjourned till October 8th. The next meeting is on the 8th of October. It's going to be held